Eclipse seems like streams have connection issues. Oh, fuck you. Hold on. Fucking connection on. Oh, you suck ass.
See?
Oh, I see. Okay, well, I guess it's connected now. I don't have any of the controls on the thing. What happens if I go like that? Oh, no. I want to do that. All right, Widdershins.
Are we starting?
Yeah, we already started.
Widdershins.
Can't get the theme song, and then I'm doing it on the phone.
We're
so
doing like Plan C.
Yeah. So we're hoping Krystal Madison is going to call any minute now.
Is she supposed to call right at 1?
Yeah, I told her a minute, and that's probably 2 minutes ago.
So now we have to wait.
Now we wait
for our phone call.
Yes.
Yes. Because we have nothing to talk about until we get our guest.
And let me just make sure. Hold on, people. Paste. Okay.
Remember I told you how to copy and paste with the keyboard?
Yes.
That changed your life.
It did. Hey, Cherie, how are ya? Love from Mexico. Oh, right on.
Who's Cherie?
Cherie Young.
Hi, Cherie.
She's on, watching us on YouTube. Okay.
Cool.
So we're waiting on our guest.
Can you call her, or does she have to call you?
I think she has to call.
And she just called like a minute ago.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking to them. And we told her to call back. But it's been not 1 minute, it's been 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So hopefully she'll be calling soon.
Looking forward to WitchCon. Yes, we are too.
That's next weekend.
Yeah, I know. This is our last guest that we know of, right?
Yep.
All right.
Well, the last one we have scheduled. Yeah.
All right. We can just, get her on the show. It's weird. I don't have the same controls. I can't make it landscape.
Maybe you can do a little dance for our audience to keep them entertained until Christine decides to call.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, how you doing? We got Cherie on YouTube. And she's in level 2 witch school. And we're waiting on our guest. All right. Well, everything that could go wrong went wrong, so we're right on schedule.
So we're ahead of the game now.
Let me see. Mojo, you cannot get to the coffee through the table. It's not going to work.
Sent her a nice message. Call, please, with a happy face.
What? Did you, bump into Mama's cigarette or something? What the hell?
Oh, no.
I don't know what this is. It's not ash. What have you been getting into?
I think he's been polishing my silver, because that's what happens when I polish my silver.
Yeah. Well, she seemed to be confused about the camera access and microphone access, so hopefully that works. I know you might see our butterfly cruise by.
We think it's one that just hatched. I mean, we can't really tell because they all look the same. But there's one that's been flying around literally for hours all day, and he just compared it to a puppy.
Yeah.
It's not like the usual butterfly butterflies where they're usually pretty cautious. To the dog, spread up to me, and then it keeps coming back. It's been doing it for hours. So it's our puppy.
Yeah. No, not opening a store in NOLA. Just setting up a internet business. I haven't. People still want all my oils and stuff, and I just haven't done that in a while. So, got to do it. Got to give the people what they want.
Yeah, now's the time.
Mm-hmm. So, where the hell is she?
I don't know.
I mean, if she wants to just like
reschedule,
do a Facebook call to you, we could just put on audio.
I don't. Oh, it's hitting sending because our internet sucks. So it hasn't even sent it yet. Hold on. Not connected. Over and over and over we go. All day.
Well, I'm glad this is our last one because the internet's been sucking for days now.
Sucking. Okay, now it's sent.
So hello, all you people. I guess I gotta open Facebook to see the other people.
Unfortunately, I don't have a cell phone number for her. I just have a landline. And I think she said she was driving, so calling the landline is not going to.
Oh, great. Facebook. Mm-hmm. Well, here we are, waiting on our guest.
I would try to, in the future, try to not depend on them calling you.
Yeah,
That's just not a good way to do it. We have to call them.
But there's not a way to do that.
Well, then we have to figure something out.
Okay.
Because relying on people to call isn't working.
All right. Help you remember. Help me with serious IRS issue. Absolutely. I will email you to re-engage on this. Absolutely helped me. Bought me another 2 years to negotiate. Cool. No, you're not supposed to call in. Our guest is supposed to call in. Krystal Madison. Okay, she has seen the link.
Oh, here. I missed. Okay, so she called me, but she hung up.
Oh, cool. You want to just call her back on that?
Okay. I'm done. Okay.
Hello.
There you are. Let's just do it this way.
Okay. Well, we can do it this way?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be some. Because, I am not the most technologically advanced individual.
And our technology is failing us today anyway, so.
I know, all day. So, how are you doing, Krystal?
Krystal Madison's on the line.
Yes, Krystal Madison.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
That's cool. I'm good. I'm cold, but I'm good. How are you?
Is it cold where you are right now?
Yeah, it snowed yesterday.
Oh, wow. Where are you?
New York.
Yeah. We're from California, and it's snowing in California too. But here we're enjoying the 80s and very spring-like today. Perfect day. I wish it just stayed like this every day.
Virginia too. They're like, it's 80 degrees. So I'm like, why am I still in this state? Why?
Yeah. Well, in the summer, I'm sure we'll be complaining.
Okay, so I see we're getting likes on Facebook. We expecting a delivery?
I don't know.
No, they kept going.
Facebook likes.
So, act like we don't know you. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Act like you don't. I don't like talking about myself.
Well, that's why you're here. So
you're
going to have to.
Yeah. I know. Well, I'm Krystal Madison, and most people know me as the Witch of Sleepy Hollow, which is an actual place here in New York. It's
Legend.
where the Legend of Sleepy Hollow was written by Washington Irving, and you know, the Headless Horseman and all that fun stuff. And I think my time is pretty well divided, though. I mean, well, with COVID, you know, it took kind of a break, but you know, it's probably spent half the year here, the other half there, where you all are at, in New Orleans usually.
Cool.
So my home away from home.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
where
love
we
that
finally
city so
met
much.
you in person a year ago. Well, not a year ago, but
almost
last
a year ago.
at Hex,
Yeah.
Hex Fest.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was just like, you know, it was like a homecoming. You know, I was like, when I'm not there, I feel homesick. But that's the truth. I do. I feel homesick. You know, I never did the tourist thing there ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a certain conjure man that we all know and love would never let me. I tried,
Yeah.
and he would never let me do the tourist thing.
Oh, I know.
Ever. And you know, instead he was like, nope, you need to meet this person, you need to go here, you come in here with me, you're doing this, you're doing that. And you know, at the time I was mad about it, because I'm like, no, I want to go feed the gators, you know, and I want to go see this, and you know, they eat marshmallows and all. He's like, no, that's, you know, some dumb shit, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm thankful to him for it, because you know, I go there and it's like I said, it's like homecoming. You know, I know many of the locals, I know a lot of the business owners, you know, I know my way around, and I wouldn't trade that for anything, for any marshmallow eating alligator, anything like that, you know. So yeah, good time.
When did you first start coming to New Orleans?
2014, 2015.
Okay. Not too far behind us.
Yeah. No. I never liked flying, right? I would road trip everywhere, and you know, he didn't like that I didn't like flying.
Uh-huh.
And you know, he had a situation where he had to move. He was moving, and he needed, you know, kind of all hands on deck. So that was how he got me there the first time I had to fly.
Uh-huh.
And then the second time, I think he was teaching for Hex Fest, and he called me, said, I need you here. And I said, I don't, you know, I got to pack up the car and all. He says, no, you're getting on a plane. I was like, I'm not getting on a plane. He's like, you're getting on a plane. And yeah, so I ended up on the plane. and that was the second time. And I think that was 2016 to 2017. My dates could be wrong.
Yeah.
They all seem to blend after, you know,
yeah.
after a while. But yeah, and then it was just, you know, it got to a point where I was there so often that one time I actually did drive down there and back, because I lost. It was the first St. John's weekend of Conjure when he had this. We're talking about Hoodoo Semboese, by the way.
Yeah.
In case people listening didn't know. He had the first St. John's weekend of Conjure, and I was one of the presenters there, and I promised him that I would, I'd be there. And this man could talk me into things like nobody could ever talk me into. Mm-hmm. And I would have people go, how do you talk to you? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm here. It's like I'm in the middle of it, you know. But I lost my license in my house, and I couldn't find my license, so I couldn't. I went to the DMV and tried to get the replacement in time. I had the stupid paper one, and they're not going to let me on a plane with the paper one. So I just packed up the car and drove down, you know. And yeah, he pestered me the whole way. Are you here yet? Are you here yet? I'm like, no, I'm in Tennessee. You know, no, I'm in Alabama. He's like, why aren't you here? I'm like, because I haven't figured out how to teleport. But that was fun. Yeah.
How long does it take?
I got to a point where I was there so often that the locals would be like, so when are you moving here?
Yeah. Yeah, when are you moving here?
Yeah. We're locals.
I had a 3-year plan. Okay. So sometime between now and the next 2 years.
Cool.
So I got some, I've got some children to graduate first.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yeah, he wouldn't let me go anywhere until his daughter turned 18. And then we started leaving.
Yeah, oh no, they already know. They already know, you know, if they're talking with each other, like, oh yeah, well, this one's 18, like, she's gone. You know, she's packing it in, she's out of here.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, they're tired of listening to me complain about the cold and the snow and all that. It seems like it gets worse, you know, the older you get, or like, I don't know. I mean, I was just saying to a friend the other day, I remember when I was a kid, like I'd be outside all day in like 20 below weather.
I could sleep on a random floor and get up to work like at 8 a.m. the next day, and not a big deal.
Right.
But, yeah. We're
now my body
now.
starts aching 2 days before there's a flurry. You know, it's I can't. You know, like I can't do this anymore.
Yep.
For much longer.
Yeah.
Well, Jane wishes she had a 2-year plan to move here. Well, what's holding you up, Jane?
Well, she's a kid.
And so Jane must be on the Widdershins Facebook, because I can see her comment. Very good, very good. Hi, Jane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm leaving that 3-year way. It was gonna be 5, and then you know, you start to realize like you could plan 5-10 years, but you don't know what tomorrow is gonna bring.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You know, nobody's promised tomorrow.
Yep.
And as we all learned, if anything's been evident in the last year, it's been that. Yeah. And at least for me. And you know, you could plan all day long, and you know, things happen. And the most important thing is to just live in the moment. You know.
Yep.
And you know, with the work that I do, I'm an end of life midwife. So, and I also, you know, I work with the senior citizens in their homes and things like that. And you hear a lot of regret, especially when they're near the end of their life. You know, I wish I'd done this, I should have done that. And you think to yourself, what am I doing? You know, so it's like the last thing I ever want to do is go out with regret. I want to go out saying, been there, done that, bought the shirt, would do it again, you know?
Yeah.
And so I upped that 5-year plan to 3, but anything's possible between now and 2 years from now. So
yeah,
I mean, the seeds are being planted, the foundation's being laid. Well, I'll leave it at that.
It was super easy for us. Like we didn't even
we didn't
even have a plan to move here. We just visited, and we're like, okay, we're in a position right now to move. We're not, you know, tied to one particular place, so we just took advantage of that and decided to do it. Happens.
Yeah,
sometimes.
and it was probably the best decision, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a neighborhood in mind where you'd like to live here?
Probably the Garden District.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Garden District because it's close enough to the quarter. I mean, I love the quarter.
Yeah.
I love the quarter. It's just, it gets too people-y for me at some certain times in the quarter, you know?
Yeah,
and,
we're just far away enough from it as well.
Right. You're far enough away, but you're close enough to it, you know, to where you're not going, you know, out of the way to
like
get
a big road
like
trip.
the Lantern or,
right.
Or if you want to have lunch at Muriel's or something, you don't have to, you know.
Yeah.
So the Garden District is close enough, but it's quiet enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, if I ended up in the quarter, I wouldn't complain. But you know, ideally, I'd like to be in the Garden District.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the quarter, it's like condos and stuff too.
They have houses there, but they're like multi-million-dollar houses in the quarter.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like
on Esplanade there.
Yeah, the ones on Esplanade are awesome.
I like where Maurice lived when we first met him. It's like on the edge of the quarter, but not very quarter.
Oh, the first place?
Yeah, the first place,
Yeah, that was perfect. And it was right, it was like a block away from the Golden Lantern, so that was perfect.
That's probably why.
Yeah, it's nice. That whole area right there at the end of Royal is really nice.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I wouldn't complain if I ended up there either. So, like a friend of mine that they stay with, she started off living on the end of Bourbon Street, over by where Sen lived. Mm-hmm. They were only like 2 blocks away from each other. And, I mean, he's lived all over the damn quarter. He was on Dumaine Street. He was over there. He was on Barracks at one point. Mm-hmm. So, and it wasn't too bad. I mean, you think Bourbon Street, I wouldn't want to end up on Bourbon. That's speaking of people-y. You know, that's like the tourist hub, Bourbon Street. You know, And I got a funny story about Bourbon Street, but
Everybody's got.
So, yeah, I had a great story about Bourbon Street. Yeah. So, but you know, every 6 minutes, a second line would be going past her, which I thought was kind of cool. You know, I remember one afternoon I just sat there, chain smoking cigarettes, having my soda, and watching these illegal second lines going by. You know, but now, you know, she's on Royal, and she's not too far from the Lantern. I usually go hang out with her. But so yeah, the first time I went to New Orleans, I was helping with the move, so I didn't really get to see much of anything. Mm-hmm. The second time, it's like, you know, someone's not from around there, right? Like, so right from the airport, instead, like, I didn't even know anything about Uber or Lyft or anything like that. I took a cab, which cost an arm and a leg there, right? So yeah. I took a cab. The cab driver says to me, where do you want to go? I'm like, I don't know, you know. So I pulled a Madonna. And I said, take me to the center of everything, you know. So I'm going to the French Quarter, just take me to where everything's going on, you know, because the story with Madonna is when she came from Detroit to New York, that's what she said to the driver, and he took her to Times Square. Mm-hmm. So he takes me to Bourbon Street. And now let me backtrack a little bit. But prior to this, I had this like whole romanticized idea in my head about what the French Quarter looked like because of Interview with a Vampire, right? Yeah. So, like, you know, so for like 20 years, I had this idea in my head that was very quickly smashed, not even dashed, just smashed the moment we got onto Bourbon Street. Yeah. Because it was like, there's flashes, there's half-naked people, there's strippers on one side of the street, there's go-go dancers on the other, there's a band over here, there's a DJ over there. Everybody's walking around with alcohol. Everywhere. And I'm standing there at my suitcase going, what in the shit show is this? I thought about turning around, getting back on the plane, right? And I get a text from Sen. He says, where are you at? I was like, hell. He's like, no, really, where? I was like, I don't know where I am. He's like, well, what do you? I said, I'm in the French Quarter. I don't know where. And he said, well, what do you see? And I'm describing. He says, oh, you're on Bourbon Street. So he says, well, here's what you do. Look for a sign that says Fritzels. I said, okay, you know, and I look over. I'm standing right under the sign. I said, oh, I'm right under. He says, good. Go in, there's going to be a blonde hostess. She's going to ask if she could help you. You tell her that the vampire Lestat sent you. And I'm like, what the fuck? What? He says, yeah, the vampire Lestat sent you. I'm like, okay. He goes, she's going to take you all the way to the end. Yeah, they change up the password and stuff all the time, so I'm not afraid to say it. So she's going to take you all the way in. There's going to be these doors. There's going to be a spiral staircase. You're going to knock on the door. I was like, oh, my God. I was like, what is this? He's like, oh, it's a vampire lounge. I'm like, bitch, if I get bit, I'll tell you right now, if I get bit, I'm coming for you. He's like, no, it's nothing like that.
Yeah. Crazy. When he told us, he said,
he's the first one who
so
told
there's a
us
password. I said, okay, what's the password? He says, the vampire sent you or some shit like that. Yeah. So it was kind of vague at that point. And now I don't even think there's a password.
Well, do you remember what happened?
About it now.
So we came down, we went down there to Fritzels. She wanted, $10. We didn't have any cash on us, so we went to the nearest ATM
they started
machine.
Charging a cover.
Yeah, so we went to the ATM machine. We came back, and she was gone.
$10.
She was gone. So we just went up the staircase ourselves and helped ourselves in. So
and then I sat down and had my first encounter on the balcony. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
And actually ended up being able to identify the spirit about a year later, and that was even cooler. Mm-hmm. And actually, I got a picture of her too. There's a picture of her on my Facebook. I mean, after her voice started, because a girlfriend of mine came up with me that I actually bumped into while I was standing there on Bourbon Street going, where am I? And, she's like, did you hear that? I'm like, yeah, because we were talking and we hear this woman's voice coming between our hell in town for, and we're like, what the hell? you know, and she's like, what do we do? I'm like, answer her. What else are you going to do? Answer,
Yeah.
you know? So she's like, oh, well, you know, we're here for Xmas. And she's just looking around. I start taking pictures, and there she is, right over with her arm over the railing, looking right at the camera.
Wow.
It was pretty neat. It was pretty neat. You know, and since then, I almost always have some kind of, and I tell people all the time too, like, you know, in the New England states and New York, the spirits aren't as friendly. You know, you walk into a place and they're like, get out, you know? Or over there, they're very hospitable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're right in your face, like they're not trying to hide, they're not, so it could be a little jarring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I love it. I don't know, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just joining us, we're talking to Krystal Madison, pretty much about New Orleans right now. And we're talking about
we're just having a chat.
The vampires have a speakeasy that's you know, populated by a lot of witches. And that's what we're talking
and they don't bite.
Yeah, they don't bite.
No,
no.
Please don't.
I haven't been bit yet. Yet.
I think consent is a big thing in their community.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I don't know enough about it. I just, you know, I got a friend that he's a fang smith.
Yes.
Is it
I
Sebastian?
have two friends that are fang smiths, but
Sebastian.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you go do you, yeah. that's your jam. That's not, you know. So
yeah, we had him on the
I'm
show,
just
and we
not trying to
asked
get
him
bit.
all about vampire stuff pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about all that. You know, once I see the fangs, I just make it, you know, do an about face and go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
So why take the chance, you know? So
yeah.
I got a question here on YouTube. Danny, random question. Do you guys have an ingredient for a road opening spell that is not commonly mentioned? You got to have Abre Camino.
Yeah, but
and
that's
not enough.
commonly
I know,
mentioned.
but road opening?
Not everybody says it. You know, they call it road opening, but they don't actually have Abre Camino in it. So, yeah, Abre Camino.
No, you have to create Abre Camino.
It grows pretty well here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ours is looking a little
funky
funky
same
right
for the
now.
oil and things like that.
Yeah.
But if you want to open roads too, you can go to the crossroads.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, it's gnat season. Fucking gnats are everywhere.
The weather's good though, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't complain too much.
Yeah. That's always when it's gnat season.
That's the only thing I don't miss.
The gnats like it too.
Well, it's not
the
mosquito
no-see-em
season
things
yet,
you all have there.
God, we had the craziest sores all over our faces and our bodies as soon as we moved here.
We look like we're on meth.
Everything tried to eat us.
Listen, I got bit up in August when I was there. There were two things I had happen in August that I've never had happen there before.
Uh-huh.
I got eaten alive.
Yeah.
That was the first one, which usually doesn't happen when I'm there. And then the other, well, I wouldn't say it happened, but they got the anoles, those little lizards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In all the years I've been going there, I'd never seen one. But in August, they were all over the place.
Yep.
Oh, God, yes. They're everywhere.
I'd never seen one. We have those in Puerto Rico. As a kid, I used to try to catch them. That was like my whole purpose in life because they're so fast.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'd have a collection of them. My Thea would make me release them. But she's like, I don't know how you catch those things. But, you know, so, I mean, it was just, I've never seen them there before until August. They were all over. We guys had a really humid summer. A lot of rain.
Oh, yeah. They come in the house sometimes. We've had them in the house.
Yeah, one was living in
Puerto Rico. We don't mind them in the house because they eat, you know, those mosquitoes and things like that. They eat the bugs.
Yeah.
So,
yep, we just left it alone.
Architecture is very similar to, the architecture, especially in Old San Juan. The architecture is very similar to the French Quarter. You know, with all the iron and all that. And a lot of the houses, unless you go out further into like the country, like in Cagua, a lot of the houses don't have like glass in the windows because we get the hurricanes too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and we have like the tile floors. It's an easier cleanup.
Yeah.
You know, and then because of that, you know, the elements and things like that, you'll get the bugs, and those little buggers eat them. So.
Yep. So were you saying you don't have glass in the windows?
In some parts, there's no glass in the windows.
So is it just bare, or is there something?
No, they're the bars, like the iron bars.
Oh, just the iron bars.
Some people might put, some people might put, they try, like the old timers, they might put like, how do you call it? Like the net, the screen.
Like a screen, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they might do that. But in some parts they don't have.
Yeah.
They don't have glass in the windows, but like in the more side parts, like parts of Ponce, some Cagua, they're up in the mountains, so they're more like the houses that we're accustomed to seeing in other parts of the world, with the glass in the windows and things like that. Mm-hmm. But like places like closer to the ocean, you don't see that much of it. So you didn't used to. I mean, it's totally different now. I come back. She said, "Don't come back because it's just you're gonna lose it when you come back because they're still recovering from Hurricane Maria." Yeah. So, she's like, "It's not the same place you left." Yeah. So New Orleans, it is then.
Yeah.
But
we didn't have a hurricane last year, so it was a good year.
Yeah.
No, I know.
That was great.
Because you had a nasty one the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh. At least the levees held up that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that there was a whole lot of. I mean, I guess certain parts had damage. We had no damage here at all. The only thing is we lost power for 11 days. Which sucked, especially in the heat.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
But that was about it.
I remember a lot of folks outside grilling.
Yeah. And then it came on in the French Quarter earlier, before ours, so we'd go to the Golden Lantern and just sit by the fans.
Mm-hmm. I love that place.
Yeah.
That's like my home away from home.
Totally.
When I'm there.
Totally.
Yeah, Jane just said Hawaii is like that. They have old houses that have windows with no glass, screens only.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just because it's like I said, the elements, and it's an easier cleanup. Like in the Caribbean, their rainstorms are different from what we get over here. If we get a rain, like say in the summer you get a torrential rainstorm, it pours down for 5 minutes and then it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Over there, it could be completely clear skies, and then all of a sudden, when it pours down so hard that if you're outside in it, you've got welts.
Wow.
That rain is coming down. Yeah, and I mean, you see boats and ducks going down the street because there's so much water, Yeah. And then the wind will whip that water right into the house. So instead of, trying to fight it and having glass shatter in, it's easier to not have the glass.
Right.
And then just, and have the tile floor and clean it up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, at least I think that's why it's that way. I never actually asked. Mm-hmm. But, and just from, watch relatives and stuff, after storms and stuff, we do the cleanup.
Yeah.
But, it's a different life over there. So, it's simpler in a lot of ways. And I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss that. So, but
I feel like
the thing I know
it's
about with
simpler
New Orleans,
for us. It's simpler than it was in Los Angeles. So I guess kind of relative.
Well, I love the culture there.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love the people. Mm-hmm. I love the food. Like I said, I've never done the tourist thing ever. I've never gotten it. Now I'm not even interested in doing the tourist thing.
Yeah.
Closest to the tourist thing, you all know Cindy.
Yeah.
She was a tour guide, and I was hanging out with her one day. She says, "Well, I got to go to the cemetery," and I said, "Oh, can I tag along?" She said, "Yeah, So I went to go see Marie Laveau's crypt and all that. That's the closest thing I ever did to the tourist thing ever. Yeah. Was one of her tours, and I mean, there's places there I haven't even walked into yet. Silly me thought the first time when I went there, I'd, help him get all moved and then go see things in a weekend. That's just nope.
Yeah.
Then I extended the next trip of, I think it was like 4 days. Nope. Then a week. Nope. I'm like, 2 weeks. Nope. I'm like, I'm just going to have to move here if I want to see some things.
Yep.
So.
You got to do.
No, I do. I love that city. I love that no 2 days are alike, ever. You never know what you're going to see walking down the street. you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I love that everybody there celebrates just to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to celebrate, just to celebrate life.
Yep.
Those second lines. It's just
our street became a walking parade route this year, like several unauthorized parades.
I saw it. Was it like a monster parade or something? You guys?
Yeah, that was one of them.
There was like 3 of them.
And there was a crew d'été.
One of them had cops with it, so that was authorized.
Yeah.
Then there was a second line, a wedding about a month or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
My whole feed was flooded with Mardi Gras. I popped on Facebook for a couple minutes. I was like, wow. Like, I need to get off here before I get on a plane. Like, I don't need to, because, like, homesick. I've never even done Mardi Gras, actually, come to think of it. I've never been there for Mardi Gras. He was trying to get me down there for Easter one year.
Yeah.
That was his favorite holiday. And he sends me a picture, and I'm like, nope, too people-y. He's like, would you just get down here? I said, where am I going to? There's nowhere to send. I have to hide under someone's wig, because we had wigs and hats. And
Yeah.
So it was pretty neat. He was taking pictures of all the hats and he really loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, he talked about it a lot to us too.
Yeah, the Easter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then there was a time where I can't remember which is the raunchy one.
Southern Decadence?
It's right around Mardi Gras. Is it Southern Decadence?
No.
I thought it was just before Mardi Gras.
It was Crew de Vue.
It's
that is
Crew de
Mardi
Vue.
Gras.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
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 The Carnival parade. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was one of them. I don't remember which one it was, but we're standing outside his shop with the client, talking to them, and this float with hearts come by.
Yeah.
Well,
and we were trying to have a serious conversation. I just lost it. Like I couldn't keep it together because
Well, I recently just learned. The Spanish own this place, and then the French own this place. The French celebrate Mardi Gras. The Spanish celebrate Carnival. And so since it's New Orleans, we got to celebrate all of them.
So we start with Carnival, and it culminates in Mardi Gras, and everybody's happy.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it. Yeah, that's another reason why the architecture is so similar in Old San Juan, because the Spain occupied Puerto Rico for a long time too.
So I figured this would happen. We're 40 minutes into the show, and you can talk our ear off. What's your workshop? We haven't talked about your workshop yet.
My workshop, yeah. It's funny because I was like, what am I teaching? Because they, remember they had to submit like 3. Yeah. Was it 3 different classes? And I
think so.
Yeah. I didn't know which one they picked.
Yeah.
Until about
you want us to tell
week.
You?
Discovering.
No, I know now.
Okay.
I had to go look. I was like, I better pull it together. Yeah. So, the class that I'm teaching is how to reveal your enemies. Because the truth is, you don't always know who your enemies are, right? So sometimes, more often than not, they're not strangers. They're people who are close to you.
Yep.
People in your inner circle that are pretending to be your friends, that are jealous, that are, feeling some type of way or whatever, and they're not adult enough to have a discussion, so they let it fester, and then it becomes something it doesn't need to be. Any number of scenarios, right? Anybody who's harboring some kind of ill will or nefarious intentions towards you. And, so the one technique that I'm teaching is how to reveal who those people are.
Ooh.
And I could tell you now, I had a very well-known author come to me a couple of years back and say, hey, I heard that you had this spell for revealing enemies, and I know I've got some, but I just don't know who it is. And I gave it to them, and within days, the persons expose themselves.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it has never failed me, not ever. You know, the second one, then because how long are the classes? Like 70 minutes, or is that Hex Fest?
I think it's I thought no, it's an hour and 15 minutes. So yeah,
Okay.
it's 75 minutes.
Okay, yeah, because I mean that one is pretty to the point, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very direct. I'm not really much of like the lecture kind of person. I like to roll my sleeves up and get my hands dirty and just show you how to do the work. Mm-hmm. So there's two. So the second one involves, you know, snake skin and a lamp. You know, so this is for when you know who these people are. Mm-hmm. You know, see, we all know somebody who continuously gets away with things. Yeah. And they shouldn't, right? Or you know who this person is, but they're so good at hiding it from everybody else. Yeah. You know, so this is to sort of reveal the snake in them. And it involves Bourbon Street dirt.
Oh, ooh, that's nasty.
Which isn't, it is nasty. It is nasty. So, involves Bourbon Street dirt and snake sheds. Cool. So.
Cool.
So you're going to share
both are easy to get.
Yeah, you're going to share this with the Widdershins audience, yes?
Yes.
Oh, we happen to have snake sheds on the statue we bought from Moise's shop.
Yeah, he got me a Saint Marta statue that was on Moise's altar in his shop, and it had a bunch of snake skins on it. So I have it in my house now.
And they're all. Do you want the snake skin too?
I think he got those snake sheds from Saint Jack. Yeah. Saint Jack. Uh huh. Mm-hmm. So. He wasn't trying to get them from me. I mean, there was a time where I think I posted the story where I climbed a tree to get the Spanish moss. I didn't know you're not supposed to take the Spanish moss off the trees because I'm not from there. He's like, no, you got to take it from the ground. He took me this. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, and I'm all armed up because I know there's chiggers in these things, you know. So, and I'm Puerto Rican. We can climb a tree barefoot. So we're climbing the tree with flip-flops. And there was a snake on this big bushel of Spanish moss that I wanted. And he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, hold on a minute, you know, and I picked up this snake and I'm just moving him. And he's like, ah! And he left me there. He's like, I can't fuck with you. Oh my God. I'm like, it's just a snake. He's like, that thing's poisonous. I'm like, no, it's not. Yes, it is. I'm like, well, not today. He's like, you didn't bring it in the car, did you? I said, no, I didn't bring it in the car. Oh, yeah. He screamed like snakes and spiders.
All right, let me read the thing for the last time this year. Because, God, it's what, a week away. Bring the magic to you. March 3rd to the 5th, 2023, join the largest live stream magical conference featuring nearly 100 witches and conjurers on live video from across the globe. Watch classes live and rewatch on demand as often as you like. WitchCon presenters are the preeminent masters of the magical arts and hail from across the rainbow spectrum of occult and spiritual practices. Registration is limited to 1,000 attendees and includes all live video classes, rituals, and performances, as well as access to recordings of every class after the event has ended via our on-demand library, so you won't miss a single magical moment. Attendees and fans will love the live shopping in our virtual vendorium, featuring powerful ritual tools, signed books, exquisite jewelry, and handmade spellcrafts. Our virtual meet and greet lets attendees and fans meet and chat with presenters live on Zoom, and it's a great way to get to know your favorite teachers. WitchCon Online is live streamed on the Hex Education Network on Crowdcast, a web-based platform with no need to download an app. So, if you haven't gotten over to witchcon.com yet, I don't know why I'm fucking speaking to you people. Get on it. It's going to fucking sell out. It's a week away.
You're not going to get a better deal anywhere else. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And not only that, I think that they have unlimited access to it, right?
Yeah,
so after the event is over.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We still haven't watched some from like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, a kind of random question because I'm not sure about the answer. Are you going to be vending anything?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And where can people?
No, I don't usually get into all that.
Okay.
So.
Where can people find you?
SleepyHollowWitch.com, or on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. Well, I'm just getting back onto social media. I took a break.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, am I following you on TikTok?
Yeah, I think. Well, one of your accounts, because you keep getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a friend, Walter, too. He's probably got about 20 Facebook accounts on my friend list because he keeps getting thrown into Facebook.
I do have a backup
So-
Facebook account now, but
He's got backups for his backups, and
yeah.
yeah, like it's a hard life, my friend. I don't know what to tell you.
It's a jungle out there.
It is. It was like, I remember for a while there, every other week, you're like, this is my backup account. This is my new backup account on TikTok. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? The people don't like. They don't like having their cages rattled, you know, and and unfortunately today, it doesn't take much. You know, everybody's super oversensitive, and you know, they don't want to be told that. I think it was your video about saging or using sage or something.
Oh yeah.
And how I think that was the one that really twisted a bunch of knickers. So
well, and
I remember that one, but you were 100% right. I mean, if you're saging to cleanse, you're asking for trouble, because sage, white sage, is an offering. It's not a.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is that video is trending again because I said it again, and same thing happened on the last account. That one I think had like 2 million hits before they shut that account down. And same thing with the Candlegate, the cheap candles from the dollar store. I've said all that before. I've said it all before, and I'll say it again, and it causes the same amount of shit.
Is that the same
time.
as Tumblergate?
No, Tumblergate was unrelated. Somebody else
okay.
was talking about Candlegate and Tumblergate.
Okay.
Well, you know, probably about 10 years ago, I had a group of neo-Wiccans kick me off. And this was before, you know, like I think it was just Facebook, you know, there was no TikTok, their Instagram was just, so I could kind of get away with it. And I wrote this blog called Shove Your Threefold Somewhere Else. And I've toyed with taking it down, but I'm like, no, I'm going to stand my ground. I'm not going to take it down. But that thing, every time I think everybody forgot about it, it goes viral again.
Yeah.
And then I get a whole new wave of angry, whatever they are, is kind of, you know, people that, you know, cherry pick traditions and practices and things like that. And I'm like, look, that is not my paradigm. I was very clear about that in the blog. That's not who I am. Don't shove it down my throat. You know what I mean? So I don't operate that way. That's not how I was schooled, and that's just how it's going to be.
Did you happen to hear Marta's new song? Just like last night posted. Oh God, Snowflake Witch. That's a great song. you gotta hear it. Sung to the tune of Punk Rock Girl.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is it on your? It's on your Facebook?
Yeah, or on my TikTok.
It's on your TikTok.
Probably
all right, I'll have to go jump back on TikTok and watch that. That's great.
Might have been the last video I posted, I think.
You know, I mean, I get, you know, one term that drives me berserk. Absolutely berserk. You're like, oh, I'm a baby witch.
Oh, I hate that.
Makes me nuts.
Oh, me
okay, because I'm like, listen, I think that's one of the worst labels that you could put on yourself if you're beginning, whether it's, you know, European witchcraft, whether it's folk magic, whatever you're getting into. The worst thing to do is label yourself that way, because I don't think they realize that it makes them seem like they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's demeaning to talk about yourself like that, you know?
Right. And we all know that I'm not about that life. So, like, you know, I'm all about telling people, like, you know, shit or get off the pot, or, you know, pull up your pants and, you know, be a big girl and get shit done. So, I mean, I actually had friend of mine who's like one of these guys that's like, you know, man's man sort of thing, you know. And he's like, yeah, I'd say you shock the shit out of me with some of the things that come out of your mouth, because it's like I'm talking to one of the guys. And I'm like, well, you know, I don't really think like a lot of I was mostly raised by men. Mm-hmm. So I don't really think like a lot of females to begin with, but I don't have the patience for pity parties.
Yeah.
You know, because you could sit there in that space for the rest of your life and watch the world pass you by, or you can get up and change the narrative and change what's going on and do something about it. You know, so I'll always opt for the latter of that, to change and fight against the grain if I have to. And I have many times, you know. And so when somebody comes along and says, oh, I'm a baby witch, I feel like they're setting themselves up for a lot of different things. You know, like they're setting themselves up either to find a teacher or an elder who's going to take advantage, or they're setting themselves up for, you know, being that kind of armchair sort of practitioner and getting the wrong information off of Google and doing something, you know, getting a spell or something off of Pinterest. I saw something on Pinterest, white magic revenge spell. I'm like, how does that work?
Magic revenge spell?
Yeah.
Just
how
kiss
does that
him
work?
to death.
How does that work? And then a couple months ago, I had somebody, I had to walk away because I don't like to get into those pissing matches online with people. Yeah. Or even in because I'm like, you know what? Like I used to say, everybody's responsible for their own salvation, you know, and I can't try to keep that in mind sometimes. But I had somebody come up to me, she says, oh, you know, I'm joining a new tradition. She's Puerto Rican, right? So I'm like, oh, what tradition? She says, well, an Orisha tradition. I said, oh, what, Rukami? And she said, no, it's Wicca.
Oh, God.
I said, what? She says it's Wicca, a Wicca Orisha tradition. And I am rarely rendered speechless. Rarely rendered. My mouth was, and I don't have a poker face. Mm-hmm. You know, and I just stood there, I mean, just blinking, because I had so many questions, but I didn't want to ask them because I knew it was a rabbit hole, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, that's what happens when you call yourself a baby witch. You end up in things like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
dear.
Playing with spirits that'll fuck you up. I mean, like, that's just.
Well, it looks like we.
You know, if you don't come correct.
End of the show.
Okay.
We've been talking to Krystal Madison. She's going to be at WitchCon. Check out her workshop. Check her out at sleepyhollowwitch.com.
And discovering your enemies. Who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah, you want
who
that
doesn't
spell.
Need that? Yeah.
I mean, that spell enough is worth the admission fee.
Yep.
And that's going to be the last time I teach that class for a while. That's probably one of my most popular classes.
Oh,
well, cool. I know we'll be there.
Yeah. Yep. It's one of my most popular classes. But
did you do WitchCon last year?
Did I what?
Did you do WitchCon last year?
Yes.
You were. Okay.
What did I teach? I think I taught about the Madama spirits.
Okay.
And then the year before that, I taught domination using skull candles.
Ooh.
Yeah, everybody was coming to me with the dark stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, I know other shit too.
Yeah.
I'm good at it.
You're similarly typecast.
All right, Krystal.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for coming on the show. I gotta end this when battery's about to die.
Okay. Same here.
Okay. All right, blessed be.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay, we'll see you in the Zoom chat thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
Have a good day.
See you then.
Okay. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's the end of the WitchCon marathon. I don't know what we're going to do next, but we'll do that. Mm-hmm. Schedule it when.
Well, we still had a list of people who, I mean, I would like to talk to everybody and anybody who's doing WitchCon, but we had a specific list of people who we have. I don't know if you've contacted them or not, but we've got people to pull from.
Yeah.
We only have a week left.
Yeah. So we'll see. But check us out at Witch Lens our social media app, available on the Apple App Store. And soon, hopefully, on Android. It's been our pleasure, and I have nothing else to say to you people, except get over there to WitchCon. Right there. There's a link. Thanks, Jane. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.